Everybody is freaking out and telling you that AI is about to steal your job. Meanwhile, regular people are using Claude AI to land boring, realistic online jobs that pay way more than you'd think. And these are jobs where it's faster than ever to learn the AI skills necessary and land the job without having to get a college degree or have a bunch of experience or anything like that. And I'm gonna show you a bunch of examples. So one of these jobs brings in over 10,000 in a single month, and the person doing it shows the receipts. Another clears 150,000 a year, and one of them pulled in 272,000. And I know this because my business partners and I have helped literally tens of thousands of people land jobs. And I also know this because I was able to escape my corporate pharmacy job, where I was basically a McPharmacist working 15-hour days, burnt out, and hating my life because I was able to make money online. And now it's easier than ever because I'm not special. I use Claude to do the heavy lifting on basically all of it. So this is going to be a real copyable list, real jobs, real people already do, not vibes. And for each one, I'm going to show you a real person earning the money and exactly how you'd use Claude to do the boring part. And to be clear, these take real work, right? It's not passive income or get rich quick. It's simple, but it's not easy. And also ignore every person out there saying that there's, some AI tool that's going to replace you while you sleep. 99.9% of the time, that's bull. And any employer can smell the slop. AI is a tool. Think of it like a vehicle. And the people who learn to drive it are the ones who get paid. So if you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently cheersing that like button. And let's jump into it right now. So the first one is going to be a bookkeeper. And this is one of the most boring jobs on the entire list. Now, a bookkeeper named Zach made $10,000 in a single month, and he didn't just claim it, he showed it live on his own QuickBooks screen. And he shares exactly how he does it. You basically keep small businesses' books in order, sorting their transactions and balancing their accounts, and this is made way easier with AI. Now, the bookkeeping guy walked away from a $100,000 job at Amazon to do this. And in his first month, he made nothing. Then he landed his first client and made $400, and a few months later, he hit his first $10,000 month. Now he runs about 70 clients by himself. Yeah, 70. Each paying around $500 a month for about 2 hours of work. So here's where Claude comes in for you. Claude can sort the transactions, draft the client emails, summarize the reports, and write the onboarding checklist. And the boring admin that would normally eat up your whole day, Claude handles it for you. Okay, so the second one is gonna be a virtual assistant, but you can also graduate into a much higher paying job called an executive assistant. So virtual assistant is one of the easiest jobs to start on this whole list. And I don't recommend staying here for very long because to be honest with you, if you're a virtual assistant in the United States, you're gonna be competing with a bunch of people all over the world. But virtual assistants can make an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month on the side. And that's exactly what this lady revealed in her video. And her channel goes by life and numbers, and she breaks down the whole thing by herself. And she makes about $1,000 to $1,300 a month working just 9 hours a week. So she basically just handles the small stuff for a busy business owner that doesn't want to deal with it, right? So you manage their email, their phone calls, and their booking software, and you write a weekly newsletter for them. And she has 2 clients. One pays her $300 a month, and the other pays her $30 an hour for about 9 hours a week. And that comes to around $1,380 a month before taxes. Now, this is a side hustle for her. It isn't passive, and she's honest about that, but it's steady, and you always know what's coming. Now, as a virtual assistant in the United States, for full-time work, it's not so great. You're probably gonna be making maybe the average. But one thing that's great about being a virtual assistant is you can travel to other places, and you can go to a place that has a lower cost of living. So if you're making $5,000 a month in San Francisco, you're barely getting by. If you're making $5,000 a month in a small town in Utah, you're probably making really good money. And if you're making $5,000 a month while living in Thailand, you're basically rich. With that being said, there's probably gonna be a better job that you wanna work your way into, and that is executive assistant or EA. Now, basically all entrepreneurs, CEOs, executives, etc., have executive assistants. And these are the people that manage their calendar, schedule things out for them, screen all the messages for them, and do a bunch of online tasks on a day-to-day basis. And they work very, very closely with the entrepreneur. So just as an example, I met a lady who used to be the executive assistant for a very famous director in Hollywood. And through the connections that she met through being this guy's executive assistant, she actually became a producer in Hollywood. So there are some serious benefits to this position. And as you can imagine, AI is incredibly useful for doing this better. There are lots of different executive assistant tools that make your job faster and easier and make it to where you can just do a better job in general. So just as an example, one thing that I'm having my executive assistant do right now is we're about to do a trip to Japan, and she's gonna plan everything out for us. She's gonna book the flights, all the hotels. She's gonna look up a bunch of cool stuff that we can do. She's gonna manage my calendar while I'm there, etc., etc. As somebody who runs runs an 8-figure business, this is incredibly valuable. All right, so the third job on the list is going to be copywriting. So a really good resource on this on YouTube is Alex Catoni. She is an award-winning copywriter, and copywriting just means writing words that sell. So you write the emails, the ads, the landing pages, and the sales pages that make people buy. Now, basically any advertisement you've ever seen that has any words in it, both written or spoken, was written by a copywriter. Now, Alex is one of the most respected copywriters in the game, and she says that most copywriters settle in around $10,000 to $15,000 a month once they have a few clients. But that is serious money for just typing. Now, she, of course, as a very well-known copywriter and as somebody who started a YouTube channel and a personal brand, makes far more than that. But here's how Claude can help you do most of that typing. Claude can draft the emails, the ad copy, the landing pages, and the rewrites. And you point it at the offer, and then you sharpen whatever it gives you. And it's kind of like having a junior writer who never sleeps and never complains.
All right, guys, quick break. This video is sponsored by me. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be doing a live training this week where I'm going to be revealing the YouTube content advantage in 2026. It is a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away even more bonuses at the training. Just as an example, I'm going to be giving away my niche validator. And this is going to be available for both Claude as well as ChatGPT, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below, because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss it. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me. You'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to meeting you. So click the link in the description, the pinned comment below. Make sure you put it on your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it, you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link, because we might be having workshops in the future as well, and you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah, hope to see you there. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Okay, so number 4 is online tutoring. Now, a math tutor turned teaching into about $150,000 a year, with 1 month alone topping $22,000. And her name is Tara, and she posts her math lessons online. So online tutoring is exactly what it sounds like. You teach kids online live on a platform that brings students to you. For instance, Tara taught in a classroom for 16-year-olds before this, and then she started tutoring on a site called OutSchool, teaching grades 3 through 7. And the best part is you don't have to find students because the platform does it for you. And all that lesson prep that normally eats your evenings is where Claude steps in. Claude can build the lessons, plans, and create the practice problems and quizzes and draft the parent updates. So all you really need to do is show up and teach. Now, another example of this is the channel, The Organic Chemistry Tutor. He started tutoring people in organic chemistry, was making a really good full-time income from that. And then he started making videos for his students and sending them to them. But then he realized, hey, if I'm gonna make videos for my students, I might as well post them online as well. And that turned into this YouTube channel, The Organic Chemistry Tutor. And he makes over $82,000 a month just from AdSense alone. And he has lots of videos on here that passively get him views. And so the last time he uploaded was 3 months ago. So he is literally making $82,000 a month in passive income just from AdSense alone. And that doesn't count all the other stuff that he's selling on his channel. He sells different products and services. He has a lot of affiliate links, et cetera, et cetera. So he is absolutely crushing it. And I might be thinking, well, Shane, he just makes a bunch of money because he gets millions of views and has millions of subscribers. Well, actually, if you look at another one of my community members, Josh, when he first started working with us, he was making less than $1,000 a month, had a tiny channel, and he only gets about 29,000 views from his YouTube channel in the last 7 days. So it's maybe about 100,000 views a month. And so it's saying that he made only about $600 in the last month from AdSense alone, and that's probably pretty much accurate. But he actually used this YouTube channel to first get his dream job, then start a side hustle, and then eventually get to $186,000 in a single month from this channel. And he even makes videos talking about himself making $1 million a month right here. And if you go to a school community and do the math, $129 a month times 1.5 thousand members, well, that is about $193,000 a month. So that's actually around $2 million a year. So yeah, he's crushing it, and he's helping a bunch of other people get really good jobs as well. So this is kind of a new thing that's happened in the online space. I've helped him as well as tons of other people, like literally countless people that literally just teach other people the skills that are valuable, like educate them, or they help them to get jobs, or they help them to basically make money in an alternative way with like a side hustle or making money online or something like that. And this is obviously a super boring business, right? You know, you're just helping people get the same job over and over again. You're telling them to put the same things on their resume and put the same things in their portfolio. And again, I would know I've helped tens of thousands of people do this, but it is super lucrative. And you get to give a massive amount of value to people, right? There's been people that we've doubled their salary, even tripled their salary by helping them get a better job. So yeah, really good opportunity there. And again, if you're wondering what niche to choose or anything like that, just go ahead and attend the live training. Click that link in the description in the pinned comment below. All right, number 5 is freelance content writing. So this freelance writer hit about $5,000 a month writing online, and then later she grew that into a business worth over $300,000 a year. And her name is Jordan, and she teaches people how to do this as well. Now, a content writer writes the articles and blog posts that businesses need a steady stream of. And companies always need fresh content, and most of them don't want to write it themselves. So they pay you. And Jordan actually got fired from a job, and that fired her up to build her own thing. So she started with no fancy background and no special degree, and she just wrote, got better, and stacked up clients. Now, here's where Claude makes the writing go way faster for you. Claude can outline the articles, write the first drafts, tighten the writing, and handle the research. You bring the final polish and the human voice. Now, very similar to this is SEO blogging. So SEO is a very specific type of technical writing where you're basically writing in such a way where the Google algorithm, the Google search engine, can find your website. Now, it's technically not only for Google. You can do this on any other search engine as well, but Google is the main one. And Tom Blake did this professionally, and then he started his own blog and made $272,000 in a single year. And then he made a video about how he did it. And he lays out the whole breakdown in that video, but don't let that big number scare you off. In his very first year, he made $1,700, and that was the whole damn year. All right, so this isn't some like overnight millionaire success type of thing, right? A lot of people start off in the blogging world by just getting a job doing SEO. And of course, this is something you can absolutely get a massive amount of help with Claude. Okay, so the next one is grant writing. Now, this is one that I have a lot of experience with myself. I worked for a 501c3 nonprofit, and I helped them write a bunch of grants and win them. But grant writers can earn anywhere from $5,000 to over $20,000 a month. So here's an example of a channel that talks about this. The person who runs this channel is Holly, and she basically helps nonprofits win funding by writing their grant applications. Now, nonprofits always need money, so the work is steady and it's always in demand, and you basically just write the proposals that convince funders to say yes. And grant applications are dense and tedious, and that's where Claude steps in for you. Claude can summarize the funding requirements, draft the grant narrative, and build the compliance checklist. You bring the strategy, but Claude handles the heavy writing. So I cannot emphasize how tedious grant writing is. Like figuring out, first of all, what the company wants, the specifics of what their requirements are, then drafting a massive application to apply for it. But Claude can handle most of the heavy lifting for you. All right, the next one is going to be a freelance paralegal. And here's an example of a freelance paralegal that hit $250,000 in a single year. And her name is Jacqueline Foster, and she shares how she built it. So a paralegal does the legal legwork that lawyers don't have time for, but it's still something that has to be done. So you summarize the documents, build case timelines, and draft intake forms, all without being a lawyer yourself. Jacqueline started as a paralegal making $15 an hour. Then she built her own freelance business, grew it to around $500,000 in revenue, and then sold it. And her whole approach came down to one thing. She started before she felt ready. And legal work is buried in tedious documents, and Claude clears most of it for you. Claude can summarize the legal documents, build the case timelines, and draft the checklist and intake forms, and you handle the judgment, and Claude handles the paperwork. And she went from $15 an hour to $250,000, and that is the ceiling on a job that most people think is boring. All right, so the next one is near and dear to my heart, and that is resume/LinkedIn writing. And I guess you could just add this one to helping people get into careers in general, right? A lot of people start off with resume and LinkedIn writing, but you can help them with all the other supplementary stuff that helps as well, like building their portfolio or doing the interviews or just making sure that they have the right skills in the first place. So I've done this myself. I also have a ton of different community members that have done this too. For instance, my own brother spent about 30 years in the trades. He was over 50 years old, not tech savvy, never made a video in his life, and he started a channel helping people choose the right trades and then getting into that trade career. And he went from zero, literally zero, to making a full-time income in less than a month. And last month, he had a record month of over $18,000. So yeah, this one is near and dear to my heart. And yes, it also is quite boring, but it's very effective too. So another example of a resume writer is Wendy Weiner. She makes about $5,000 a month. And a resume writer basically just takes someone's messy work history and turns it into a resume that actually gets interviews. So you can also write their cover letters and clean up their LinkedIn profile. And get this, she was a practicing lawyer for over 12 years before this. And she started the side hustle in 2010, taking client calls from her car on her lunch break. And now she charges about $3,000 per client. So here's the part where Claude saves you hours on every client. Claude can turn a plain work history into sharp resume bullets, summaries, cover letters, and a full LinkedIn profile optimization. Plus, you can do more than that. You can use it to strategize what skills they should learn, what projects they should put in their portfolio, etc., etc. Now, one of the most important things to do here is you do need to specialize in a particular type of career, right? So don't just be a general resume writer, pick a very specific career, maybe even a subspecialty within that career. And that's how you can charge a lot of money and make a lot of money as well. And finally, we're gonna talk about social media managers. Now, you can make a ton of money doing this. Just listen to Mr. Wonderful.
Money now is if you have talents in social media for customer acquisition. I used to pay those guys 48 grand a year, and now they're 250,000.
And he's not lying. Here's a video of Ellen McKenzie talking about how much money she made from social media management. And she basically just runs the social accounts for businesses, right? So as a social media manager, you handle the strategy, the posting, the monthly retainer, and the reports. And Ellen is based in New Zealand, but most of her clients are in the US. And a lot of business owners know that they need to post and they actually have zero interest in actually doing it. So they pay someone like Ellen to take it off their hands. Now, we have people come to us all the time asking us to run their YouTube channels for them. But of course we can't do it, right? We'd have to have a small army of people. And I don't want to start some kind of massive agency or anything like that. And so I know there's a massive amount of demand for this. And of course, Claude can help you do it much faster. That's what we use for most of our content. And it's just a no-brainer. Now, I know that 99% of you are going to take my free content. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to attend my live trainings, get a ton of value out of that, get the free Claude skills and the free prompts that we give away there, get a ton of value out of those too. And then at the end, I'll answer all of your questions as well. But you're never going to end up working with us one-on-one, and that is completely fine. But for a very select amount of you out there, the 1% or the 0.1% of you out there that want that one-on-one mentorship, that want to get their results as fast as possible when it comes to building their personal brand and growing on YouTube, go ahead and book a call by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment below. On this call, we'll figure out where you are right now, where you want to be. We'll make a plan to get there, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not, but only do it if you're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube, because we only work with a select amount of people at a time. Right now, for instance, we're only accepting 5 people. And the types of people we typically work with are, of course, business owners, both online and some types of in-person. Typically, it's the types of business owners that get clients. Then we also work with YouTubers who are getting views but struggling with monetization. We work with YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it even harder. And we work with people who want to treat YouTube like a business and they want to educate other people, give value to the world, solve other people's problems. And they're typically experts or people who are willing to become experts and professionals in whatever they do. So if that sounds like you, click that link in the description in the pinned comment below. And also check out this video right here, where we go over exactly how we got my brother Zach, who's in his 50s, not tech savvy, never made a video in his life, from 0 to a full-time income in less than 1 month. And click right here to check that out.